So I wanted to do a little Twitter Q&A with you guys, so I tweeted out if you have any questions for me. Pretty brilliant, right? That's how it works. And a bunch of you guys responded, so we picked a couple, and I think we're going to do a few of these. But here, let's get to a couple questions that you had for me on the Twitter. Maricita7 asked, how many, now that the bandwagon has joined us, Americans do you think would punch Dick Cheney in the face upon meeting him? That is a good question. I think in the circles that I travel in, and in the TYT circles, and in most Democratic circles and progressive circles, a lot of punches. There would be a lot of punches. I think in the Republican circles, not so many punches. I think if I was trying to answer this seriously, I do think there's a small percentage of people that if they just saw him would want to attack him, and that's why I guess these guys have Secret Service and all that. But if I saw the guy, I wouldn't punch him. I would love to talk to him. I don't agree, obviously, with a lot of things, and you know, he's still preaching now about what we should be doing in Iraq when he was the architect of an utter disaster, and now we're seeing the fruits of it. So I would still want to talk to him and really try to get some more truth out of him, really talk about Halliburton and how that all affects his decisions and that kind of thing. So I wouldn't want to punch him, but I guess I'm more of a lover than a fighter. All right. Melissa Immel said, if you weren't in media, what career path you think you'd pursue instead? This one's actually kind of interesting. So I studied political science in college, so I guess I'm doing something kind of right here. And I remember very vividly being in one of my classes junior year, and just the professor just kept talking about how the government just doesn't work like it's supposed to. Now this was probably in about 1997, so our government was actually pretty functional back then compared to the insane gridlock that we have now. And he was just talking about how the branches are always fighting, we don't get legislation passed that's good for the people, talking about money in politics and how everything's being bought. And again, this is 15, 16, 17 years ago. So I wanted to be a politician is the answer to your question. I was studying politics and I wanted to be a politician. I remember being in the class and thinking, wow, this thing is so warped. This thing is so warped, like how could I be a part of it, you know? And then I started thinking maybe I was gonna do a little stand-up or something like that. And then I did stand-up comedy, literally the last thing that I was gonna do in college. I was taking a public speaking class and I had taken all my finals. I was going home as a graduate like 2 days later, and I did a public speaking class. And it was about summing up your college experience, and I did a little stand-up, and I sat down like Bill Cosby in my favorite special himself from I think 1983, and I did a little summation of what I thought college was like, and half the class laughed, and half the class thought I was nuts, and I was like, all right, I guess that makes me a comedian, and I went to an open mic in New York a week later, and here I am now, so there you go. Next up, Eric Wallace 117, would you ever run for public office? So that sort of goes back to what I was just talking about. I don't think so. I think for me, my place is talking about it. I think you get to be a lot more honest as someone on the outside, and hopefully can influence some things. And I try to be as honest as I can and talk about these things in a fun way, because when you watch all these shows, everybody's yelling, everyone's partisan, they're bought and sold. I have nobody telling me what I can say, and it's a beautiful thing, and that's why the internet is the future. And I think we're forcing TV maybe to be a little more honest, but running for public office, I don't think I could do it. Like I think I would love the process, some of the process of it, and getting in there and really negotiating things and talking about the issues and talking to the people, but the endless fundraisers, even right now as I do this, President Obama has 3 fundraisers in these 2 days. I think he's at a fundraiser right now in Dallas while I'm doing this. So that part of it, I wouldn't want to do, and have to sit at all those tables and listen to all the people who are just there because they have money. I just simply don't think I could do it. So I think my role is to be on the outside and talk about it, and hopefully for me it's cathartic for me, and I hope you guys dig what I'm doing. So that kind of works for everybody. Next up, Just Smoke, I think I said that right, says, do you think as long as we give credit to organizations like the Catholic Church for their, quote, charities, we must give Hamas the same, because they both claim good work for people, yet they both do a great deal of harm more than good? I would rather have neither. This is an interesting topic, because we talk about how religion, especially the religious right in America, has dictated so much public policy. That's far different from Hamas, which is a terrorist organization, which is actually holding their own people hostage and also firing rockets at another country. So I don't think the Catholic Church is doing that. That being said, they've done some odd things related to women's reproductive rights and gay rights and all that. Whether churches or religious organizations should have tax exemption is a whole other thing. I don't really think so. They do some good work, of course, but I don't think we can really put the Catholic Church and Hamas on the same level. Garden Gnome 88 wants to know, what did your parents do for a living? Do you think it shaped your aspirations? So my dad works in sales in the garment center, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom for most of my growing up, and then was a nursery school teacher for many years after that, and she just retired, and my dad still works. Do I think it shaped me? I grew up middle class in a very decent area. I thought we lived on the wrong side of the tracks of the town we grew up on, but we were okay, and I think growing up sort of okay led itself to comedy, because most people think they're growing up okay. Even when you're not growing up okay, you think you're growing up okay, and there's something funny about that. I always thought there was just something a little off in the world. I don't know that it directly had anything to do with my parents' jobs, but just growing up in the suburbs, there's something funny going on there. There is something weird and funny going on in the suburbs, and I think it had something to do with the path that I'm on right now, and this is still, even though I've been doing, I started stand-up in '98, the path, 16 years later, I still feel like I'm at the beginning of it, so it's kind of cool. All right, so that is our Twitter Q&A. I think I'm going to do this more often, so please do play along. Follow me at Rubin Report. Let me know what you think. Comments, yell at me, ask me questions, whatever you want to do. We accept all, except racist, psychotic language and homophobic slurs. That's what the block button's for.